Welcome to the Get Real with King Arthur show. And I'll put my crown on the right way. You have to take advice from your hearers or watchers. And you never know what's going to appear on the Get Real with King Arthur show, because I just talk about what's going on with me. And what's going on is an old subject that I've heard about all my life, but we're doing new reading on it, and it's left brain, right brain, and its implications for us, and there are many. The books I am reading indicate that the left brain is language, and its details, facts, factoids, rationality, while the right brain is poetry, emotion, meaning, and somehow, although scientists do not know how, the two brains are coordinated. And for example, birds, many species have the right brain, left brain, including birds. And the left brain, the right brain indicates they look around for safety and keeping their life together. The left brain looks at the logistics of it, is someone approaching, who, are they threatening or whatnot? And it's important that in your own life, you mix the left brain with the right brain. Now, I know a scientist who indicated that his university training in science was heavily loaded toward the left brain. Lots of facts, but putting them together in life situations were lacking. I told you on the program on science, I told you that all the wonderful discoveries that physicists are making into the nature of the physical universe is truly amazing, and their dedication, but they leave the universe in chaos without meaning and deliberately avoid the meaning, which we call metaphysics. And modern scientists and philosophers ignore the metaphysics and the poetry and whatnot, the meaning. So Sylvia Plath, poor dear poet, saw the universe as without meaning. It was not good for her. And I went through the whole path business, ending with the path that Jesus talks about, prescribes for meaning. Anyway, in your education, that's why we need the liberal arts, because you've got to put the facts together to indicate meaning. And we need poetry and literature and religion and philosophy, as well as facts. I may have mentioned to you the Biennale Museum in Vienna that I attended a couple times. And one display really got to me. It was a maze, a glass maze, and there was a man there wandering around trying to find his way out. In the background, someone was lecturing, a bunch of factoids, facts. And the contrast between getting out of the maze and this bombardment with factoids. And one must have both. Education That's what is important to have both. That's what we talk about the liberal arts college. And university training that leaves out one half of the human brain is defective. Interesting that language, I said, is left brain. A little caveat there. It's sentences and words, left brain, but their meaning, right brain. And one of my hobby horses is that linguists who pay, like Chomsky, infinite attention to the left brain, sentences, words, sentences. A sentence is meaningless without context if it's not made into text. Now, the difference between sentences is just a factoid. If I said to you right now, my friends are celebrating their son's wedding. So what do you make of it? Doesn't mean anything as far as you're concerned. Well, so what? My friends are celebrating their son's wedding. That's a sentence. But a text is the structure of meaning. And while the left brain will analyze sentences, and Chomsky does a wonderful imaginative work at this stage, what is the text theory? And the man who unlocked this secret, the linguists have been looking at for 100 years, is none other than the leading linguist of the 20th century, Kenneth Burke, in his book, The Rhetoric of Religion. And so when I talk to people about language, sentences, words, text, that's a meaningful statement. It could be one word, it could be a 3-volume novel. That is what we need to study. And we need, and not only to work in language with sentences and words, but with text. Now, I'm not going to go all into text theory, but while sentence is binary, subject and predicate, text is not subject and predicate. That's where linguists made a mistake. They kept looking for a glorified sentence. Text is problem and resolution. Simple as that. But it's true. There's no doubt about it. And that message, the linguists have dropped their study, as far as I know, of text linguistics. So my argument with you is you need to balance the two. Now, you could be too much into poetry, living in the ethereum without hard facts. But you could be too much into factoids with what is the meaning. And education should emphasize both. And I'm tired of educators saying, jobs, 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 jobs. I was at a conference in the American Association of Higher Education in Chicago. There were 20 of us sitting in a circle, and among them was the vice president of Sun Oil Company. And we said to him, "Sir, what do you want us to do to prepare for you employees at Sun Oil Company?" And he said, "Do not micro-train them, just fact. Or tell them how to think, communicate, understand, find information meaningful, imagine." And so not only does the two brain, and I may talk about it more, does the two brain and how they interact important for education. but also for our knowledge of text. A text is a complete sentence, for a complete thought, a persuasive thing. So I can say to you, jump, and in the context it means nothing. If I say jump and you're standing at a cliff, it could be a text, a complete statement, and all the parts of it implied. And you know who the subject is, the guy you're speaking to, and how to jump, that's involved in that. No, why is that a burning issue with me? I just can't understand it. It's a passion with me. And education is a passion for me. I get too intense here, laugh a little bit. Siemens don't get so high-blown intense. I have to tell myself that. But it's what kind of education are you looking for? And I would say, on the other hand, in understanding every speech you give, every communication, complete communication you have is problem and resolution. Isn't that important? Every time you open your mouth or write? See, I get all excited about these things. And so, get the right education. Understand what you're saying and what you're writing. That's it.